All right, how's everybody doing today? So I'm going to open up my my box I got from Camera Store because I bought a new toy, and I want to talk a little bit today about what I bought, why I bought it, and say a word or two about the morality of camera collecting, or the ethics of camera collecting. That is for people like me. That is mostly middle-aged men who enjoy collecting these things. And is there a reason not to buy or to buy? What things we should think about when buying cameras or before we buy something? And let's see, here's the box. And right, and this is. Alrighty, very nicely packaged. This should be empty. I don't think there's anything in there. I don't think. Oh, hey, check it out. Well, son of a gun! I didn't even. This wasn't even the listing. Look at this. Check that out. There's a, looks like a yellow filter, or an amber filter, I guess. Well, it ain't the cleanest I've ever seen, but I guess it's factory stock. It's kind of cool. And a hood, lens hood, check that out. Right, that's useful. Zeiss Icon Stuttgart, or Zeiss Icon Stuttgart, right? Is that how you say it? I don't know, whatever. And here is here it is. Okay, alrighty. Well, this case is in very nice condition. So I've had my eye on this camera for a little while, and the reason I've had my eye on it for a while and I haven't bought it is because of the ethical issue that I want to talk to you about, which is this. I have several shelves of very nice analog equipment. I've done videos about most of the stuff. I've got a very nice Nikon collection. I've got a very nice Konica collection, a modest but nice Konica collection. A couple of Canon rangefinders and lenses, a couple of Soviet rangefinders and lenses. So I have a nice analog collection of analog cameras and lenses. And one of the problems we're having these days in analog photography is the fact that nobody's making cameras anymore, or the cameras which are being made is single use, or they're plastic toy cameras, or the non-single use cameras that are being produced are not. I mean, they don't even remotely begin to approach the quality of something like this. This is a consumer camera from back in the 1950s, back when they made stuff right. And every time that I buy a functioning film camera, I'm removing it from the market, and I'm preventing someone else from being able to enjoy it and buy it. And that means perhaps a young person who would be interested in getting into film photography would be deprived of the opportunity to do so, because I'm just obsessively building my collection, and I'm kind of conscious of that. So I hesitated on pulling the trigger on this camera. It has been in inventory at Camera Store for months. I first noticed it, last fall, and it was not discounted during their pre-Christmas sale, probably because it was it was priced at €39 to begin with, and it says, anything that says, anything that has that mark on it, and it's already discount priced, I don't blame them for not discounting it further, and sort of standing on principle and saying, no, this thing will sit here until it sells for €39. I do not blame them at all for that. So before I pulled the trigger, now it is, it's late March as I sit here right now. It's the very end of March as I make this video. And I finally pulled the trigger, and I thought, well, it's been on the market. It's been in inventory for a good 6 months over there at Camera Store, and plenty of people have had plenty of opportunity to buy it. Moreover, this is rated in 2 out of 5 condition mechanically, so it needs work. Apparently the shutter is a little slow, or it's a little sticky on the slow speeds. At least that's what the listing said. I mean, I'll find out soon enough. But these things are incredibly well built. And when I was when I get my film cameras maintained by the legendary Yaakov on Allenby Street in Tel Aviv. And I happened to be in there and noticed that he had one of these on his shelf or something similar. So I thought, well, Yaakov has a display of his own personal collection that he puts on glass cases and displays in his shop. And there was at least one of these, or one of the Cantina models. And I happened to notice it in there. And I thought, all right, well, apparently Yaakov knows how to fix these things. Or at least that's a good sign. So, excuse me. So I'm pretty sure this thing's going to need some work. I'll probably put a roll of film through it first before I take it into the shop, assuming that the basic functions, check out. Assuming the advanced mechanism's working and at least the high shutter speeds are working. I can put a test roll through it just to make sure that's see if there's any other issues, light leaks and so forth. I probably should do that before I take it into the shop, so I can at least tell Yaakov what the deal is. But I'm almost certainly going to take this in to have him give it a once over. But my point is, if you're I know about roughly half my audience are people who are in my age range and who are collectors, and I agonized over this because I thought, well, this is a neat class of camera. I became interested in this class of camera because I bought this Retinette. This was my lockdown purchase back last March, a year ago, during the first lockdown. I saw this on Camera Store's website, and it was only €35, and it was it was rated in 4 out of 5 condition across the board. I'm like, what the heck? And I just jumped on it, and it was just an impulse buy. And I said, for €35, I'm curious. And I've enjoyed it. I've had some fun with it. I've made a couple of videos about it, and I do enjoy this camera. And it belongs to a certain class of viewfinder cameras made in Germany during the 1950s and 1960s, featuring these shutters made by, I believe the name of the company is Gauthier, something like that. They made the Prontor line and the Compor line of shutters, which were very popular in the 50s and 60s. They're leaf shutters. So leaf shutter viewfinder cameras, overwhelmingly built of metal, mostly metal construction, made in Germany. So very high build quality, and they really, I think these make I think this class of camera may be an up and comer, because again, as the plastic fantastic point and shoots from the 1990s, when they break, they ain't getting fixed. Whereas there are still a handful of technicians who know how to fix these things because, frankly, they're worth fixing. Whereas the plastic fantastic stuff is not. It's just, it wasn't built to last. It wasn't. Those were consumer products which were not intended to last over 20 years. Whereas these things come from an era when everything was overbuilt, or at least by the standards of the 1970s and beyond. This stuff was overbuilt, and as a consequence, it's worth maintaining, and many of these things survive to this day. So I enjoyed that, and I just and I've sort of had my eye on this one. I'm like, I wonder, because this is this is an early one. This is the Retinette. This is the last Retinette 1B, and I think this was built in '65 or '66, whereas this, I believe, is a 1950s era. And I think the construction is even like less plastic, and even, if anything, it's even tougher. I believe, based on the limited information that I've seen online about it. So I just wanted to share some thoughts. I will be running a test roll through this, and maybe I'll make a first impressions video, and I will take it over to. I will almost certainly have Yaakov work on it at some point in the very near future, and hopefully, I will have a nice little compact 35, well built, well made, and built like a tank, as they say. So those are my thoughts today, and just thought I'd share that with you. If you are a collector like me, just bear in mind, when you buy something like this, we cannot simultaneously complain about the so-called hipsterization of analog photography and the proliferation of plastic toy cameras and single-use cameras, while at the same time removing from the market the good stuff. So this one I hesitated, and I waited a good 6 months before pulling the trigger, and it needs work. So it's not like that to me qualifies as an ethical purchase. But maybe I'm just overthinking this. If you want to share your thoughts, that'd be great. I do kind of agonize over. The issue of if you're a young person and you want to get into film photography, what's left? The good stuff is drying up, and good film cameras are becoming harder to find, and that is not going to get any easier in the coming years. And what is the obligation of my generation? What's our obligation to the young people? Do we have one? Do you believe in film photography? Do you want it to survive? Do you want young people to have access to some good equipment? I don't know. Those are just some thoughts rattling around in my head, and thought I'd share them with you. If you found this video entertaining, amusing, informative, hopefully not annoying, please do like and subscribe, and check out the links below, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.